And the Cosmopolitan, of course, because like we mentioned before, the goal is to promote to play like the way Hoboken is doing now.
And let's talk about Hoboken now. So they just got promoted, obviously. They won Division 1 and they got promoted over the summer. Full season was a mixed bag. Obviously, as you mentioned, George, the level of the EPSL is just so high. You expect it to be a really steep learning curve for teams trying to make that jump up in terms of fitness, in terms of just the experience of some of the players that the top teams like Pancyprians, Greeks, and Lansdowne have. But for Hoboken, they actually did surprisingly well against the top teams in the division, with a heartbreaking twist almost always. Let's have a look at their game against Zoom, which really sums it up. Rosero looking to reverse it to James Reed. James Reed is through. Could this be the moment? It is! Hoboken scored their first goal in the EPSL. And so the first half was perfect for Hoboken. Went in 1-0 ahead. I mean, honestly, they're the better side. Zoom Snyder were ignited by a team talk by their gaffer that just made me really glad that we have a mute button on our iPad, because it was quite fiery, but it did the trick. Zoom equalised, and then it was just toe-to-toe. Hoboken with 10 minutes left. James Reed's electrifying piece getting in behind Zoom Snyder, and he came within millimetres of getting what might have been the winning goal. And then cue Zoom Snyder deep into stoppage time, going up with the last chance and taking away what would have been a really important and honestly impressive point for newly promoted Hoboken. Now, if you're from Hoboken watching, you're probably effing and cursing at the TV, asking, why are you torturing us again with this? But I think for me, it's really there's a silver lining to this, isn't there, for Hoboken? The fact that probably on paper you'd expect them going against Zoom Snyder or Pancyprians for them to get hammered 3-4-0, and they really brought it right down to the wire. And let's have a look. We're going to carry on the torture. Sorry, Hoboken. Their results against three of the top 4 sides. So Zoom Snyder, as we saw, 92nd minute winner for Zoom. Pancyprians, it was 1-1, 95th minute. Same with Lansdowne. So Jacob, obviously, conceding a late goal makes you feel sick. But there is certainly positives, isn't there, out of this, in that you wouldn't expect these scorelines to be so tight, and they really did push these teams right down to the final seconds.
No, absolutely. I think if it's a testament to anything, Hoboken came out of Division 1 with a really strong defense. I believe they finished last season with the top defense, and they really haven't had a ton of games where they've lost by a heavy margin. I saw their win against Scots. I think they have a really impressive side. I don't think they're too much of a threat for relegation. I think that Suffolk County are going to have a tough time keeping up with the level of this EPSL, making that big leap into the EPSL in their first season. And it's shown that they're struggling a little bit to get to the level. But, it's a spring season where, recruitment, some adjustments can be made. So I think it is a really important back half of this season for Hoboken. And like you said, they've been so close with these sides at the top of the table. It's just that attack that has been letting them down a little bit. If James Reed can get firing and score the goals again, I mean, he was unstoppable in the back half of the Division 1 season where they were title champions. So I think Hoboken is going to be able to survive their relegation battle. I really think that, they're a really well-coached side. I think that they play such a great style of football, and they've had some really impressive results against sides that are decidedly better than them. I think that a bit of stability coming after a fall season in which they had to really adjust to the level. Now with a half season in them, I think they'll be adjusted to the level. I think that they know what it takes to get a win or to get a result at this level now. So I don't think Hoboken's going to be in any danger of being relegated.
Let's have a look at the table one more time so we can just see that bottom part. So we can, as you have alluded to, Suffolk at the moment sitting in the relegation zone on 2 points, Hoboken on 4. I mean, it is really going to come down to, like you said, the winter recruitment. Hoboken definitely, I think, based upon full season, you would say that they're most likely to stay up out of them and Suffolk. But if Suffolk can get themselves, a couple of more players to strengthen the squad, I saw them get very close against Scots American, who are mid-table. I mean, it really came down to late goals and could have gone either way. But I mean, if Hoboken can make good against the top sides and just get 1 or 2 points out of those ones, it's going to put them in good stead, isn't it?